Hey, fellow PewTubers. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of By 5 Tactical. Today we're going to talk about something a little bit more serious. I wanted to go over the nitty-gritty reasons why I'm such a huge Second Amendment advocate and why I believe so strongly in our ability to protect ourselves and our homes and express our right to bear arms. When the Second Amendment was written in December 15th, 1791, it was meant to be a directive. It was not meant to be a suggestion. With that being said, it is up to every one of us to fight for those rights and continue to advocate to keep them in place so that we don't have politicians that are looking to ban guns or put gun control in place. The minute we let that kind of thing happen, quite frankly, our entire nation is going to crumble. We'll see a rise in crime that we've never seen before. As you know, people that do things illegally are still going to be doing things illegally. It doesn't matter if we put gun control in place. It has been proven, actually, that in environments where gun laws were put in place to help ban or restrict the sale of guns to average citizens who are just protecting their right to do so, to keep and bear arms, there was not a decrease in crime at all. Not at all. There's no statistics to prove that. The only statistics we had were an increase in burglaries and home invasions, and that's something I want to go over with you guys today. I want to read some statistics here, and then I'm going to go over why it's important for me to make sure that I'm protecting my home and my family, and hopefully you do the same. Like I said, the Second Amendment, it was written on December 15th, 1791, and it was meant to protect the individual right to keep and bear arms. Okay? The Second Amendment is a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security and free state, and the right of the people to keep and bear arms, and how it shall not be infringed. This was not anything meant but a directive, not a suggestion. The more we let politicians try to diminish that, or take that away, or ban the sale of guns, or do a buyback, we are throwing ourselves at the mercy of any other criminal out there that's willing to take what they can from us. And quite frankly, most of them will hurt us in order to make that attempt. I'll prove that here. 3 out of 4 homes over the next 20 years will be burglarized at least once. 3 out of 4. 34% of burglars enter using the front door, and most of those are unlocked. So what that tells me is we need to start focusing on the safety of our home, making sure our doors and windows are locked at all times, and that we're taking extra precautions to make sure that we keep our sanctuary away from the rest of the world safe for us and our family. 77% of crimes in the U.S. are property crimes on individual properties, individual homes. 77% of crimes, total crimes in the U.S., property crimes. Police, when they are called and notified about burglaries or home invasions, only 13% of those crimes are ever solved. I don't know about you folks, but those are not numbers that I'm willing to play with. Taking the opportunity to protect yourself and your family is of the utmost importance. Without so, we have nobody else. It is your individual right to protect you and your family, and therefore it is your responsibility. It is not anyone else's. Over 1/4 of homeowners that interrupt burglars that break into their home, 1/4, so 25% of all home invasions that occur or burglaries where the homeowner attempts to interrupt that burglar becomes a victim of a violent crime, whether it's assault or being shot or even killed. Property crimes in 2017, for example, had a total loss estimated around $15.3 billion. That's a lot of money, and that's a lot of property damage. Why? Because we weren't taking enough precautions to keep our home safe. There are over 4,500 homes burglarized per day in the United States. That's every single day. It is estimated that 2.5 million burglaries happen every single year in the United States alone. 2.5 million. It's a lot of crime. I know for me, one of the biggest things that I found important was that most of these cases, there was no home protection, there was no security plan in place, there was no plan for your family to understand how to protect themselves or what to do in case of an emergency. Those things are all things that most people cannot readily afford or know how to do, as far as installing security systems or whatnot, or maybe you don't have the funds to be able to do something like that. But you do have the Second Amendment right to back you up, and that is to keep and bear arms and protect yourself at all costs. Again, it is your sole responsibility, yours only, to protect you and your family. Calling the police is not going to help, especially with everything happening with the defund the police marches, protests that are happening. What's funny is that we see that happen, but then we also see these anti-gun activists showing a huge spike in increased gun buying. The one thing I will say is if you are doing so, if you are a first-time gun buyer or anyone else, stop voting for politicians that their sole objective is to ban guns or create gun control laws. Because all that's doing is restricting your Second Amendment right and your right to bear arms, thus infringing on your ability to follow your Bill of Rights. Our Constitution was put in place for a reason. That's to protect us from a tyrannic government. If we keep voting for politicians that have nothing but the aim to restrict our rights, who else are we to blame but ourselves? So my suggestion, do your research. Always check your facts. Know who you're voting for. And make sure that you are doing everything you can to protect yourself and your family. On that note, I wanted to give a statement out to let you guys know that Walmart, for example, is one of the few places that decided that they are banning the ability for people to open carry in their stores. What that means is because of prior crimes in their stores that have occurred, because of, again, criminals who are obtaining weapons in a means that are different than somebody that is a law-abiding citizen like you or I would do, because of their actions, this company is now banning the authorization for us to, or sorry, the ability for us to open carry into their stores. And that's fine, that's their objective, right? But we can't support that kind of thing and allow that to happen because then it becomes a social norm. If we don't stand up and speak out about this, who's going to protect us at the end of the day? When things go to crap and stuff hits the fan, there's no one else around but you or I or other citizens who are doing everything they can to practice their rights. 13% of all crimes reported to the cops that are violent crimes in a home are ever solved. Only 13%, remember that. That is the whole reason that I use my Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms, and I will not let it be infringed. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you.